You know, even though I just got this thing a week ago, this has been a nightmare. As beautiful of a truck this is, it's been a bumpy ride. Well, if you want to listen to me ramble, I'll explain. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Rough Riders Show, back on the channel with you once again on this beautiful, mild, warm Friday night here in Central Ohio at the end of October. We're approaching the Pensacola Air Show coming up in about a week from now. Getting rather close, so look out for that live stream link shortly. And if it is out, I will post it in the description of this video. In the meantime, back with the F150, as you've probably seen a couple of videos ago. I got a new to me 2016 F150 Lariat with the 3.5 liter Ecoboost, and then my previous truck, which is this one. This is the OG, my first truck. This one is the F150 FX4 package at the time. This is a 2011, has the 5.0 V8 engine, which has been very reliable. But I have a story to tell about this one, so let's get right into it. All right, so how do I start this video? You know, for those F-150 lovers out there that are looking for a professional video, this is not one of those. This is just literally me, my personal opinion about my ownership. 1 week. What, 2 weeks? I guess technically 2 weeks, but I'm going to call this 1 week because I didn't have this thing for a week of my 2016 F150. So this has the 3.5 V6 Ecoboost with 2 turbos in it. It's got 96,000 miles on it and counting. So this is definitely not a brand new truck by any means. You know, I've had a couple of problems already. I didn't even address it with the members either. This is just all a developing situation. So if I have any clips in, I'm going to drop them in right now. So it all started the day after I bought this truck. Okay. So it was about the day after I filmed I acquired the F-150 video. Well, I noticed a leak underneath the truck. And it was a pretty substantial leak. If I have a video or a photo, I can't even remember if I did one, but I'm showing it here on screen. But if not, I don't have it. But it was a pretty large puddle underneath the truck, and it wasn't just a very small one. This was a large leak. So I'm like, this is very concerning, right? Because I went to work, and then about 6 hours after I parked, a large puddle was on the ground. So of course I'm freaking out. I'm trying to see what I want to do. So I ended up going back to the dealership that I originally purchased this truck from, because I'm within my 5-day grace period. And for those who don't know what that is, here in the state of Ohio, there's a thing where if you buy a new or used car, you have 5 days to basically undo the paperwork, and you can actually, you know, turn the truck back in, you know, and then you're off the hook, essentially. So this is the very next day after I bought the truck. So I take it back to Drive Direct, which is the dealership I got this truck from. And I explained to them my situation. I was like, look, there's a large puddle underneath my truck, and you just sold me this. And they claim they have 10-point inspection. They inspect every single ounce and inch of this truck is what they claim. But somehow they missed that, and I don't know how they missed that. And no, I didn't hit anything. It literally looked like it was going on for a long time, and I somehow didn't see it when I was buying the truck. I don't know what happened there. So I go back and I demand them that they need to look at this. and they tried to pull the hoe. Well, and this was on a Friday, by the way, because I got the truck on a Thursday. This was on a Friday, so about 2 weeks ago from today. They said, well, you know, our garage is backed up till Monday. You know, we'll look at it Monday for you. I said, no. This needs to be today, because I won't have oil by Monday. This truck was literally gushing out oil as we speak. And I don't know, I should have videoed it, but anyway, long story short, after arguing with them for about 30 minutes about, well, our schedule's backed up. I'm like, I don't care about your schedule. You sold me a truck that failed your inspection. You know, shame on you guys. And let's start the process of returning it if you guys can't figure this out today. Because I don't want to deal with this. I bought a truck that's leaking oil all over the place. You know, you never want to buy a vehicle that's leaking oil. That's just trouble. So I turn it. So then they eventually said, okay, we'll take a look at it for you. And the conclusion was it was the valve cover gasket. The valve cover gasket essentially is looking on the top of the engine. I can show you here. So essentially, for those who know, valve cover gasket, it's underneath this cover. I'm not going to take it off right now, but it's underneath this cover. And essentially, it was gushing oil out all the way down through, you know, bottom of the engine, and was leaving a large puddle down there. So they went in there, they replaced the whole valve cover gasket. They had a part in there, they took it all apart, and you can actually kind of see it's all new right here. Kind of hard to see it from here, but that's all new. So they got that fixed and replaced, and that stopped the leak. So I was good to go. But not so fast. That's not the end of the story. So after they got the valve cover fixed, I just a couple of days went by. It was about, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 days. It didn't matter. So anyway, driving around, nothing new, you know, making videos as well as going to work each and every morning because I work at 5 in the morning. Didn't think anything of it. Then all of a sudden I go to lunch, and then before I go to lunch, I walk back out to the truck, and I noticed, oh look, there's yet another puddle. So it's still leaking, but it wasn't as large of a leak this time, but it was a smaller leak. Here's a picture just to show you. I'm pretty sure I have one, but this is what I noticed. There was just a little teeny tiny puddle underneath the truck. So I was just like, okay, great. I guess that's not the end of the leak scenario, so maybe they didn't fix it. But then again, this was a whole week later. So I was outside my grace period, so it didn't even matter. I didn't feel like going back to the dealer. They were already not cooperative with me. They didn't want to work with me, so it was just a nightmare. So I didn't feel like going back there. So I go underneath and I take a look at where I think the leak is coming from. And in this video that I'm showing on screen, this is where I noticed, hey, that's where the drip's coming from. It's located towards the driver's side of the truck. So, of course, I'm doing research and wondering, okay, what does this mean? And apparently, it's a common issue with these 3.5-liter V6 turbos, where the oil feed line that goes from the engine to the turbo, like over time, once these trucks get over 100,000 miles, they start corroding and getting bad to the point where oil will start to leak through it. And that's exactly what looked like was happening here. So I was like, okay, I'm part of a common issue with these V6 turbos. But again, I'm not even at 100,000 miles. I'm at 96,000 miles. So still, you know, good little bit away from 100,000 miles. So that's a bit kind of shocking, to be honest with you. So I hit up another local shop. Well, I hit up a couple of local shops because I'm trying to get a quote, and they basically, I've explained to them where I think the leak's coming from. They've all told me the same thing. Oh, it's that valve hose or whatever, the oil hose. Again, I'm not a truck expert, so F150 people are probably laughing at me right now. Yeah, so, you know, it's they're all saying it's that hose. Okay, no problem. So then I finally land at a shop that is reasonable with me and actually can get the job done. They have 4 technicians on site. So I was like, okay, perfect. We'll go with that. So then I put the truck in. They gave me a total. It was stupid expensive, but I'm like, okay, I just want it fixed. And they said, well, good thing it's not the turbo because that would have cost $3,000. Well, that not ended up being the case. So it turns out the turbo went out in this truck. Not even a week of me owning it. And I think the previous owner that had this knew it was going out. They got rid of it. The dealer had no idea. That's just my guess. I have no idea. So it was the passenger side turbo. The passenger side. So I thought it was the driver's side, but it actually was the passenger side. Because when the team took the turbo out, because you have to take the turbo out in order to replace the hose, they noticed, well, it was falling apart. The stuff inside it, the teeth were all destroyed, you know, all that. And is it just this, or what else was it?
Yeah, so where that was like that, it caused this not to seal, so that those black marks right there.
Oh, yeah, there they are.
Where the exhaust was leaking on it, and then the line that was going to it was also leaking.
Jesus. Okay, well. So I was like, okay, so this can't be fixed, right? I got to get a new turbo. They're like, yep, you need a new turbo. So yeah, already out $3,000 at this point to get this thing fixed and back on the road. Okay, so now you've seen what was going on with that turbo. So I had to replace it. And the new one is in $3,500 later. These things are not cheap to replace. So the reason why I'm making this video, I know it kind of makes it sound like I'm complaining, but the reason why I'm making this video is if there is anyone out there that is considering looking for an F-150 that either has the 5.0 liter V8 or the 3.5 liter V6. Well, I don't want to tell people don't buy this truck because let's face it, this truck here is phenomenal. It's got everything. It drives nice. It's got those power running boards. I mean, look at this. That is so satisfying. But besides the point, keep in mind when you are looking into an F-150 and it has the 3.5 V6 turbo, just keep in mind that the common issue, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, a common issue is the passenger side turbo will fail eventually because between the model years of, I think it was 2014 to 2016, Ford had this seal that it's not on properly. You know, that's the best way to explain it to you. And after you get 100,000 miles, that seal will just weaken over time and oil will start leaking. So either you'll have to replace your hose or the turbo itself. So it's the passenger side turbo that, just me reading up online, seems to be the one that goes out the most, or the most likely to go out. I haven't heard much about the driver's side, but for right now, my driver's side turbo looks fine. And that's what the shop told me, and I'm good to go. But so just keep that in mind. Now, I don't want to stress this is a terrible truck, like I just said, but I do got to say, the 5.0 V8, which is this bad boy right here, this has been my first vehicle. This was my first truck, my first car since I was little, okay? And this right here has been the most reliable vehicle ever. And the 5.0 V8s definitely last you a lot longer. Now, needless to say, not saying I can't get to 200,000 miles with the other truck, but this one here is sitting at 192,000 miles and it's still going. I am starting to have an issue with this one where I do have ironically, I do have an oil leak with this one too, but it's a very minor issue. I believe I can get that fixed. It's located underneath the oil pan. It could be fixed, you know, that's not a problem. But, you know, the reason is these V8s have less moving parts versus a V6 turbos, because you know you don't got to worry about turbos. It's just raw power. But yes, the F-150 with the 3.5 liter V6 turbos definitely do have a lot more power. So if you're towing and you're trying to decide between the two, the V6 is obviously a better option. It's got a higher towing rating capacity. It tows, and it can tow more. It can tow heavier payloads than this. But then again, I beg the question, when you wear out an engine more with more moving parts, you tend to have more problems. Whereas this one, I'm at 192,000 miles. I've had this truck for 12 years. I think I've only had maybe 3 or 2 or 3 issues relating to the engine where I had to replace a alternator, I had to replace the timing belt. You know, that's just basic stuff when you're driving a vehicle with this many miles on it. But I got to tell you, if I were to buy another truck right now, I hate to say it, but I'd definitely go for a 5.0 V8. That's just my personal opinion. Other YouTube channels will tell you different. But then again, I'm not an expert on comparing apples to apples with these two trucks. I'm just telling you my personal opinion on both of these trucks. And I'm happy that this one lasted me as long as it did. And I'm still happy that I have the new F-150. But the issues I described to you could have just been out of bad luck. This all could have just happened as soon as I bought the truck, and I just happened to be the unlucky person to deal with it. But I will tell you, for those who have a V6 turbo, eventually might deal with issues like that, and it could cost you a fortune. Like for me, it cost me almost over $3,000 to get a new turbo. One new turbo in that other F-150. So anyway, that's it. I've been rambling a lot. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. And keep on the lookout. I do have another F-150 video coming out where we're actually going to compare apples to apples, like I just said. We're going to compare my old F-150, which is the 5.0 liter V8 FX4 2011 package, and of course the new F-150 2016 Lariat package with the 3.5 liter V6 turbo. We're going to do an apples to apples comparison video. I cannot wait to do that one for you. We'll see if I can get it done before the air show coming up next week. But in the meantime, stay tuned to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We're going to do a performance video as well. I got the four-wheeler still. This is going to be spectacular. I cannot wait for 2025. I think this is going to be a very fun year for the channel. And I think all the new subscribers that just came here, because some people only care about air shows, some people only care about trucks, some people only care about birds, because I have a 24/7 bird cam stream, which is literally streaming right over there right now. They could probably hear me through the microphone. So check out the 24/7 bird cam stream. I do work super hard on that live stream. It's there 24/7. I try and change the foods up each and every week. I got a bunch of different cameras. In fact, I'm testing the air show deployable cameras that I'm trying to get ready for the upcoming Pensacola show. You know, so I'm using them for the birds. So just check it out when you get a chance. It's streaming 24/7 here on the channel. And consider becoming a member. For members, help me out to do stuff like this. Members also help me afford to not only get another truck, but fix it. Because that was an unexpected bill I had to pay on that other truck. But members, thank you so much for being there. I got more members content coming up for you, including the Bird Cam members multi-view that is now 24/7, by the way. So on Bird Cam Live, I have like 10 cameras, but I only show up to 3 or 4. Whereas the members, you get to see all the cameras all the time. It's a members multi-view streaming live for members right now. So consider becoming a member if you are interested in that. In the meantime, that's going to do it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.